Hello, encouragers. I'm Rebekah Scott, wife, mother of 4, author, and owner and designer of Rebekah Scott Designs. I'm here to encourage you, to make you feel that I can do this spirit each and every day of our awesome journeys to fulfill our many important roles. I believe we are fully equipped to execute, and I will provide as much knowledge, practices, and systems as I can to help you understand just what I know you can do. Execute. We got this. Hello, encouragers. I want to talk to you today about something that's been really important for me over the past 15 years of my business, Rebekah Scott Designs. So I sew and design purses and accessories, and you're very familiar with that. But then I also got to start The Encourager about 5 years ago, and that has also taken off. And the only reason I'm able to do both of them is probably narrowed down to a couple of different successful things that I will be talking about throughout this series of The Encourager, because I think it's important to share that. So one of those things that I can contribute to a lot of my success is mentoring or coaching. So mentoring to me is guiding someone on a journey or a path you have once traveled. Very simple. Just someone that points you in a direction they maybe went on, or they may be avoided because of their experience or the lessons that they learned. I mentor as a way of life because I understand the importance of it because of what it has offered me. I live mentoring or coaching, if you will, because I want to prevent people from the same mistakes as I did. Mostly it's just that, like, okay, wait, I've been there and here's why you need to avoid it. I also want to give as much experience or advice as I have been given to keep the circle growing. I know there's a reason God took me through that journey, and I want to be able to share that with as many people as possible, even when it's painful. I want to offer help in areas that I have experienced and also anything that I can help them avoid. Mentoring and coaching allows me to save money, time, and resources in areas I am unfamiliar with. If you think of it like the phrase investing in yourself, it really is paying yourself in. How much would I pay myself to learn all I can from mentors? How much is my time worth? Will this mentorship give value to my everyday and speak to my future? Yes. Mentoring and coaching comes back 100-fold when you do the math. So a really good example of mentoring or coaching that I have in my background is that I really want to build a barn studio for my business. And I'm going to in 2023. Right there, I just said an affirmation that I read every morning is I will build a barn studio in 2023. But when I first wanted to start it, it was 2015. And I said, okay, I want to build a barn studio to my coach. And there was a couple of them, and they said, okay, sounds like a great idea. We know a builder. Let's get him out here. You can kind of tell us your ideas, and we can take it from there. So they didn't shoot down my idea because they know that I have lots of big ideas, and I'm an activator. So I want to start things right away. And they also, good coaches and good mentors, know about your personality types. They know about your strengths. They know about your weaknesses. They know who you are, and they will utilize that to strengthen you, not weaken you. So I said, okay, let's bring him out. So he came out. I was nervous as all get out because, to be honest, this was just basically a rich man in a really nice suit standing in my crappy yard at the time because it was like, April when it's not yet green. It was still brown here in the Midwest. And I had to pitch my idea to him. And I had some drawings because my brother-in-law is an architect. So he had drew up some plans and stuff. And I told him what the barn is. I told him the layout. I told him the purpose of my barn. I told him when I wanted to break ground. I told him how I was going to finance it or my ideas for financing it, all these things. And my coaches were there as well. And they let me talk and they reinforced any ideas that I had and, helped portray my character in a great way, which I hope would be that way anyways. And after the experience, his name, I'm just going to say his name. The builder guy that wanted to look at it said, Becca, do you realize, his name is Aaron, do you realize that the barn you have drawn here is a $500,000 building? I was like, wait, what? I was thinking more like Fancy Morton building. So I was off in my projection of what the barn would cost. And I said, okay, well, we'll have to alter some of that. And he said, yep, I totally agree. And that was the end of it. And I said, well, let me think on this. And he said, you're definitely going to have to raise some more funds and you have to have more steady sales for any investor to come in. Because I was a retail business, I didn't have enough steady sales to prove like the growth of the company because I'd be really busy in the summer or in the fourth quarter, but not so much in the rest. Just kind of typical of my business, which I knew those truths too. But this guy was like, listen, if you want to take it to the next level, here's what you're going to have to prove. So I said, okay, well, he left with my coaches back into town. And I just had to think on this. And to tell you the truth, I don't really remember my feelings after the meeting other than, okay, I have to redraw the plan to make a cheaper building. And I really wasn't willing to switch gears. I was like, okay, I have to change the layout a little bit, and took a couple of his suggestions in, but wasn't going to put a stop to it at that point. Well, my two coaches drove into town with him and they said, okay, so what'd you think of Becca? How do you think it went? And this man in a suit, Aaron, said, well, I think she's a loose cannon. And ouch, right? Like, what? And my two coaches said in the moment, wait a minute, you have the wrong impression. Becca is the most planned out advisor gal you could possibly meet. Meaning, when I think of an idea, I contact several advisors in my life before I activate on it. Because I am an activator, which is one of my top 5 strengths, I know that I need detail-oriented people around me. I also need people who are critical thinkers so they can think through my awesome idea, not deter it or tell me no, but tell me some of the things that I may not be thinking of because I'm an activator. And so when I think of ideas, I contact my brother Joshua, who's an excellent entrepreneur. I contact my brother-in-law, who's also an excellent entrepreneur. I talk with my husband, who is the critical thinker, which everybody has one of those in their lives, and mine happens to be my husband. I contact my mom, who's also just like a feel-good, you know how you are. You just contact your mom. And I also have some business coaches, obviously, that I advise with as well. So I have lined up my life with tons of advisors so that when I go to activate a big project, I have these people that I can lean back on to help me develop the idea. And so my coaches told Aaron, listen, you have the wrong impression of Rebekah. She will not act on this until she has done all the research and contacted lots of people before she executes on this. You were just her first step because she's an activator. So she wants to know what you want to say so that she can go back, melt through all of the details and figure out what her next plan is. It may be that she changes the date. It may be that she changes the building, but she will do this because this is how we know Rebekah. What a powerful moment. So not only did those mentors and my coaches confirm that I wasn't a loose cannon, because I'm not, I could have just heard that. And so my coaches were nice enough to tell me what Aaron had to say, that his first impression of me was that I was a loose cannon. I'm very glad that my coaches did tell me what his first impression was so that I can learn from that as well. I can be humbled and go, okay, why was that his first impression? What could I plan out better than next time? And also, how can I stand up for myself if that situation came about again? And they didn't take it as a no either. They took it as, we are going to redirect him because we know her well, which means my coaches knew who I was at my core. They knew how to back me up, and they knew what the idea would do for my momentum and my growth. And that is excellent coaching. P.S. on a side note, because I never leave anything detail-wise out for you guys, I did have to go into therapy after this experience. No kidding. Because the word, you're a loose cannon, doesn't exactly build a person up. And I went through a phase of a lot of self-doubt from that phrase alone, but I didn't know it at the time. And through therapy, she was able to talk me through, how come you're experiencing this self-doubt? I started telling my experiences in the last year, and that single moment came up. And so I realized that I had built up this thing about a man in a suit and that he would determine my future. So therapy is wonderful, you guys. They are also a form of coaches and mentors. I highly recommend them. She was able to help reverse that, and my self-confidence is back where it needs to be. But that is good coaching. They were able to tell me the truth. They were able to tell me, like, okay, you are wrong to Aaron. These are the truths about Becca. And it's just a really good coaching and mentoring moment about who you should have in your life as a coach and a mentor. They cheer me on, but they also help me work out the details of what I want to do. Okay, there are 5 qualities that I want you to look for in a great and meaningful mentorship or with a coach. So a true mentorship relationship is based on mutual respect for both parties, meaning you cheer them on 100% and they cheer you on 100%. You offer value each time you meet with both sides. Now, this is the part where you may think like, I don't have anything to offer them. That's why I hired them. Not true. Not true. You have value to offer them, and it'll come about in the meetings or in the sessions. Don't worry about it. Another good quality of a great, meaningful mentorship is that they feel passionate about growth and stability for your journey. Meaning sometimes it's not a growth year. They're okay with that because you're having a baby or you have another job just yet or you have life, etc. But they will still challenge and guide you through keeping it level and stable rather than the business or whatever your venture is failing. They will still keep it stable even if you've decided it's not a growth year. Another great quality of a great mentorship is that homework is usually involved. Even if it's just mental homework, sometimes they will say, think on this and then get back to me, or fill out these 3 questions just for yourself to look over and dream on, or they will ask you to submit things back to them. But homework is usually involved. Another great quality is that they have empathy for your stage of life, your intricacies and your strength. They won't tell you to learn Excel and do all your own taxes if you aren't strong in math, right? They'll know what your strengths are, the better they get to learn from you and study you. And they won't force you into writing or producing or making a number that will make you divorce your husband if you've told them that is one of your deal breakers, right? They are invested in you and want to make you the best version of you. Okay, so here's why mentorship or coaching gets a bad rap. Because sometimes it feels like you have to fail in some way to need it. Or you can't do all of it, and so you seek it out, and the admittance of not being able to be everything to everyone pauses you from seeking coaching. Or you think it's a serious time commitment, or you think it's too much money, or it will complicate things, or you can't even implement the ideas that they will give you. But the truth is, mentorship and coaching is meant to aid you and progress you in the best version of yourself without all the pitfalls you would take on your own. It will grow you more than you know to grow yourself. That is huge. It will grow you more than you know to grow yourself because they can see you from above and have been up the ladder already. Boom, they've been up the ladder already. So they are helping push you up the ladder and helping you avoid looking down, right? That is great mentorship. The people that need mentoring the most are anybody who ever thought, I can't do that because I don't know anyone who has. Truth is, you already know everybody you need to know. So even if they can't answer your coach or your mentor, even if they can't answer it, they may know someone who does. You also need mentoring if you think you need to do this on your own to prove to yourself or others that you can do it all. No, you need a mentor. And you need mentorship if you think you're a one-woman show. And you really need mentorship or coaching if you feel you are so scattered, it's easier not to admit all the help you need and just draw into your own pitfalls and your own ideas and just keep steady. You desperately need it then. So as I've talked about throughout the podcast here, there are several great things about mentorship and coaching. But here are some of the upsides of mentoring in addition. You have someone holding you accountable. That is probably the largest thing with coaching, is that there is somebody outside of yourself and outside of your little advisory team that holds you accountable to what you dream in your darkest awesomest. I don't mean darkest as in evil, but I mean darkest as in your most amazing dreams that you're afraid to dream for yourself. Okay, they're the ones holding you accountable to that. It is someone who can recognize your dream and encourage you, even if you think you are not capable. They may see the underlying truths. They will help you avoid burnout because someone is helping you speed up or slow down based on your rhythms that you may not have even picked up on. If it's a really good coach, they know so much about your strengths that they can either speed you up when they know you're trying to pull, like drag down because of some fear that you're not even aware of. They know that fear, so they're like, we're amping it up. Or they will be able to slow you down when they know, like me, I'm an activator. They will know to say, that's an awesome idea. Let's write down a few more details and let's write out the steps. Okay. They will know your strengths. So they'll be able to help you speed up or slow down based on truths that you're not even sure and haven't even picked up on your own natural rhythms. Your coach or your mentor will be able to do that. Plus, advice is not tied to their individual success, meaning they won't take advantage of you. They can't chalk it up to their own success. I mean, we will cheer you on and high five you, but it's not tied to my own individual success that you succeed. So they can give you honest truth. They are purely helping you succeed and confirm their own life lessons and reminding themselves what they learned on their journey, therefore not repeating it if it's mistakes, or they can repeat it again if it worked. It reminds them of all the things that they did that, oh my gosh, that really did work. I should do that again. That is why it is an awesome give-give situation. So I know there's a lot of information here. I've told you the upsides of mentoring and coaching. I've told you the downsides. I've told you the 5 qualities of a great, meaningful mentorship. And I've also told you why mentorship sometimes gets a bad rap. These are all really important truths when you're thinking about who your next mentor or your coach is going to be. So the one thing that I really want you to remember with mentoring and coaching is to get over yourself. Remember, this is one of my favorite phrases because I have to tell it to myself frequently. If you think you don't need mentoring or coaching because you have nothing to offer of value to the mentor, or will appear too scatterbrained, or don't have what it takes to grow, or don't want to admit your fears or your faults or your doubts, get over yourself. While you think that's being humble, you are actually being prideful. Reach out. The money and time will be worth it every time. You invest the dollars, you will listen. You invest the time, you will implement it because you have skin in the game, which equals commitment to your dreams. So mentoring and coaching is very important to me. It's aided me so much in my own personal journey. And it's why I started this podcast, so that I would be able to coach others in some of the mistakes that I made and how to avoid them, and also help them to accelerate their own life and work harmony, because I've really got a rhythm that works for me. So I want to coach people in that, which brings me to an awesome opportunity for you gals. I am going to offer a masterclass. You know that I do encourager workshops, which are excellent and serve so well throughout the year, but I really wanted the monthly get-togethers to get some more momentum. So that had me thinking and praying on it, and what I decided was I need to open my own masterclass. A masterclass is a group of women or people. 4 to 5 is all I want in my group. We have monthly meetings. They last about an hour and a half to 2 hours long, and we hold each other accountable to certain subjects that we're working on in our individual businesses. None of the participants will be in competition with each other. Like, we won't have 2 photographers or 2 designers or 2 cooks or 2 chefs, that sort of thing. So it is a private thing, and it does stay within the group, but this will seriously accelerate your growth and your goals and everything in your life that you've wanted to achieve. Having a master class and a coach such as myself will hold you accountable to what your future will look like. In my masterclass, it will be open to 4 to 5 participants. We will meet once a month, and we will have homework. We'll talk about 3 main points first. We'll talk about your calendar, we'll talk about your priorities, and any follow-ups from the month before to see if you're achieving what you had set out to do. And then we'll have a singular subject focus, such as marketing that month, or growth that month, or banking that month, like how you're taking care of your funds. We'll talk about product development for you. We'll talk about life harmony. We'll have different subjects for every month to cover as well. Everyone is required to show up, and we do ask for a 6-month commitment to be a part of the group, and it will go for 1 full year. So I want to challenge you. What could coaching mean to you? What are the dreams that you want to achieve that a coach will make sure and hold you accountable to? This is your year. This is your moment as you listen to this to invest in yourself. It will return to you 100-fold. Until next time, encouragers, we got this.
Hey, encouragers! If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you've had the scene where you're crying because there's no way you can meet all the roles in your life, I've been there. I've so been there, but I'm not there anymore. And I know how you can get out of that slump and start executing on all the things that God has equipped you to do. You can pick up my book at equippedtoexecute.com, also on my website at shoprsd.com, and it's also available on Amazon. Thank you for tuning in, encouragers. Remember to subscribe so it's automatically on your phone, and please rate and review me. We got this, encouragers.